This video is for the girlies who feel like they're doing everything right in their weight loss journey and nothing is working. Quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not a doctor, I'm not your trainer, and I'm not yelling at you to cut carbs or do anything drastic. I am simply just a girl who lost 70 pounds and someone who was just doing it wrong for years. I've spent years thinking weight loss meant pushing yourself harder, but what actually worked was learning how to support my body instead of punishing it. And that's what it felt like to me for a long time. I was simply punishing myself. I was punishing myself by not being able to enjoy foods. I was punishing myself by spending hours in the gym. And on top of that, punishing myself, I wasn't even seeing any results. So I'm just like, this has to be insanity. This has to be not right. I must be broken. Something clearly isn't working. Once I stopped fighting my body, the weight actually just started to fall off. And this video is not about motivation. It's not about willpower, and it's definitely not about doing more. I'm gonna explain why and what actually changes things. So I have to let you guys in on a little bit of a secret that I've learned throughout my weight loss journey of losing 70 pounds and keeping it off for a year. And it may not be a secret, but what I want you guys to remember throughout this whole video from this point moving forward is the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, sis. And that is the thing about this age of information or this age of social media. I feel like we tend to take in so much info and we are overcomplicating the process. Doing more is often the problem. When I say doing more, I want you guys to think about the people who simply just overdo it. I was a girly who overdid it. I would spend 2 hours in the gym a day or more. I simply had to see my Apple Watch say 1,000 calories. So overtraining in a sense, working out way too much, pushing your body way too much to the point to where it's like, all right, boo, we're overtraining. And then on top of overtraining, if you're in a state of restriction, you might be under eating too. So you're working out extra hard and you're not fueling your body in the way that you should fuel your body, which sends your body into a freaking panic. And then you might return just have to end up starting your diet every single Monday. And I know I'm not the only person who's been in a space to where it's like, I know y'all seen that video where it's like, we gonna start that gym next week, girl.
Baby, we gonna do that gym next week. We gonna do that gym. We gonna get that cauliflower rice and that salmon next week. We gonna start the keto.
That was me. I was truly starting over every single freaking Sunday, every single Monday. I'm like, oh, cheat day. How many cheat days are you going to give yourself? You cannot do that by overtraining, under eating. And then at that point, you're not going to see any progress because you are always starting over, that you're never going to start the momentum to keep going. And just to even think about this from an emotional safety standpoint, your body needs to feel safe in that weight loss process. Your brain simply just wants to keep you alive. And if your body does not feel safe because it's always extreme, it's getting malnourished, it's not eating enough, and everything is different all the time, your body becomes frantic and it simply does not know what to do. Your body needs to feel safe in your weight loss journey. Also, I don't know the science behind this. I don't know the faith behind this, but you will manifest doubt within yourself. You will manifest exactly what you don't want in this weight loss process if you have an inkling of doubt. So if you're working out 2 hours, you're like, I'm not even eating bad, but the scale is not moving. True story, because that was me. You will manifest staying in that same spot. Heck, you might even manifest gaining weight. And you're just like, I cannot be gaining weight and I am burning my butt off and not even eating. But that will happen if you have an inkling of doubt. Don't know the science behind it, like I said, but you will manifest exactly what you don't want if you are even thinking about it at ever so slightly. So be in position to know you have to believe in yourself in this journey and don't have any doubt. And if you aren't seeing results, you're obviously doing something wrong and you need to figure out where you can change and where you need to pivot. So believe it or not, your body does not respond to pressure in the way that social media makes us think. And I think that typically does work for men. Men, I think, thrive in that kind of chaotic space, or that space where they put a lot of pressure on yourself. But as a girly, as a woman, you don't need to do that, because in the end, you're just going to create more problems for yourself. We can get more into that throughout the video, but as a woman, you have to approach weight loss in a totally different way. So restriction causes stress, and stress causes you to stall out on your progress. And when I say restriction causes stress, that chronic restriction, you were just chronically restricting yourself. I said I was working out 2 hours, not eating enough. Oh, I'm only going to eat veggies and fruits and carbs. I'm not doing protein. Like that chronic restriction on yourself raises your cortisol. And if you did not know this, cortisol will make you hold on to fat like it's nobody's business. And this is especially in women. And typically you'll see that in the arm area, in the midsection. For me, I typically hold that cortisol weight in my lower back. And I don't know what it is, but like the moment my body is in a state of stress, I get a lot of inflammation and just fat buildup in my lower back, right above my butt area. People probably think I'm crazy, but I say I have two butts, especially if I'm stressed out, because it's like so distinctly sitting there and my body holds it in that area. It doesn't matter how small I've gotten. That area is going to be the area that holds fat when I'm in that state of stress. I want to let you guys know this, that your body simply wants to keep you alive. Your brain simply wants to keep you alive. Your body and your brain cannot tell the difference between a threat and a diet. So if you are coming from the space of a diet or weight loss in this super extreme restrictive kind of way, your body's not going to take well to that. I'm just telling you that right now. So this next part is for the short and the busy girlies. I want to let you guys know this. You have less room for error. I say this a lot for the short girlies. We have that shorter calorie expenditure, not much wiggle room with how many calories we can actually consume for the day without gaining weight. But this really goes for the people who are busy as well, because when you are super busy, you have less room and time to slash those excess calories. If you're a person who is glued to their chair for work, you don't have time to do all of that movement. It's harder for you to burn those calories. For me, I do have a little bit more flexibility, but I do have to be in the office 3 days a week. So now I have these built-in walk times at work to where I'm going to walk and I'm getting my steps in, because I'm going to burn these excess calories that I have because I'm sitting in this office all day. You might have less recovery time. If you think about it, if you're a person who has to go to work for 8 hours a day, you have to commute to work, you have to come home from work. If you want to work out in the morning, you have to figure out the best time for you to get to work, the best time for you to get to the gym and get to work on time. So more than likely, you're probably rushing your workout. You might be rushing how you stretch and recover after your workout. Are you getting enough water after your workout? Are you getting any protein shakes or things after your workout? Because you're in that state of that limited time. So recovery is super important in your weight loss journey. If you don't know that, you need to know that. You need to make sure you stretch, hydrated, protein, all of that good stuff. And that goes for that front end of your day. And that also goes for the back end of your day. If you're a person who goes to the gym after work, you might feel like just stressed from the work day. Go to the gym at 5-6 o'clock. You work out for an hour and a half, get home, it's probably already 8 o'clock. You don't feel like you have time for yourself. You might spend time scrolling. You have to truly think about how to nourish and recover yourself throughout that journey. But if the time is limited, that can be kind of hectic. It can get kind of sticky. And when you think about that, that also adds a layer of stress for you as well. And like I told you guys before, that chronic state of stress can raise your cortisol, which in return will make you hold weight. So if you're a short girl, a busy girl, a hormonal girl, or a tired girl, extreme plans can backfire very fast. So you have to think about how you can create balance in your life and don't go so extreme when it comes to this journey. Something that I had to learn is weight loss is not just like food, and it's not just like exercising as well. People say it's as simple as calories in, calories out, which in actuality it is calories in, calories out. You have to be mindful of how many you're taking in and how many you're actually burning. But there's also another factor that comes into play with weight loss. Like I told you guys, recovery is super important. You don't even realize you get a lot of recovery through your sleep. I know it's hard to get 8 hours of sleep for anybody, especially on social media. If you scroll or if you stay up late, you getting up too early, you guys have to really take into account that recovery for your sleep. So making sure you're getting an adequate amount of sleep. Another thing that I think is important for women is to be mindful of what phase of your cycle that you're in. You might be wanting to be, oh my God, I'm having such a hard time at Orange Theory this week. Whole time you're in your luteal phase, and that is not the time to be going extreme and having these extreme workouts. In actuality, you should just be doing some weight training, some walking, some moderate cardio, instead of over pushing yourself and extending the envelope, which in return, you're putting your body into that state of stress, jacking up your hormones, having cortisol, bodies holding on to weight. It is so ironically complicated for women, but it's only complicated because of the world we live in. We need to learn to live in more of a state of harmony with ourselves and more in a state of just being in flow with a cycle as a woman. I would say just being more in tune with your body instead of the world, which is hard, especially if you're a working woman, because you got to get out there and get your money. You got to get out there and work. You got to get out there and do all of this. But at the same time, you have to be mindful of your body and learn to work with your body instead of working against your body, because when you work against your body, you're putting your body into that state of stress. Another thing that I think is important to just be mindful here is really focus on consistency over intensity. I was very intense in the beginning, very extreme in the beginning, and I was able to lose 30 pounds, but it was hard to keep that 30 pounds off because it was always so extreme. I would starve and then binge. You just cannot do that. So if I just consistently make sure that I'm moving my body an hour to 30 minutes a day, and if I consistently monitor what I'm eating, consistently slash my portions in half, if I do this consistently over time, it's not as intense as burning my body out for 2 hours a day. And then you will start to see the results if you are just consistent with that. If you are just consistent with your 10K steps, if you are just consistent on moving your body, dancing, walking your neighborhood, getting on the treadmill, getting on the elliptical, whatever you need to do to move your body, if you're just consistent with and be consistent with that eating piece and making sure that you're not eating too much, I promise you'll start to see results. I've mentioned this before on my channel. I mentioned this in this video. I have been on the extreme side of things to where I was just going hard and the scale just was not moving. And that is so easy for you to fall into a pity party after that and just be like, what is the point of doing this? It's not working. I'm just always going to be like that. And having that attitude towards weight loss, you will manifest exactly what you don't want. But when the shift happens of knowing that you truly need to learn how to relax, you need to learn how to ease up, you need to learn how to find and create balance and just move and flow, that's when your body will relax and catch up with you and just begin to release the weight. And I want you guys to know, for me, the weight didn't start moving until I stopped treating my body like it was the enemy. Now, just to think about how I feel now about my body, I feel like I'm just with my body. My body is not somebody who is against me. I used to go to the gym as like punishment. We're going to whip you into shape. And now it's just like, I feel like I go to the gym to feel good, to just have movement. It really helps me actually relieve stress by just moving my body instead of going to the gym in a stressed state of mind. All in all, I want you guys to know that weight loss isn't about effort. It's about alignment. And that looks like doing what actually works for your body and not what looks like impressive for your body. It's so easy to get on social media and be like, oh, I want to be the girl who lifts weights. I want to be the girl who does this. I want to be the girl who does that. But just for me personally, like my own story, I have a thyroid problem. For me, when I lift heavy weights, it actually sends my body into a state of stress and I get extremely puffy and my body is just stressed out and literally in cortisol city. So for me, that's not the kind of workouts that work for me. For me, it's just more of a calm kind of workout. I'm a Pilates girly. I'm a bar girly. I'm a walk around the neighborhood girly. I'm a walk around my job girly. I'm a walking pad kind of girly. I'm a Stairmaster kind of girly. I'm not an Orange Theory girly. I'm not a muscle mommy girly. So you got to figure out what works for you. And I want to clarify this for you guys. I want you guys to think about it. Alignment is enough food, enough movement, and enough rest for you. Not what it is for the girl on TikTok. Not what it is for the girl who has this what I eat in a day. Not for the weight loss coach. Not for the girl who likes to get on TikTok and yell at everybody and talk mean things over people's lives and sending them into a state of stress to work out. You have to do what is in alignment for you. And that means no extremes, no punishments. So if you're a person who has been approaching weight loss from a place of, I hate myself, I need to see my body change, it is punishment of me going to the gym, you don't need a new plan. You need a new approach. Nothing is wrong with you. You just simply need to work with your body and not against your body. And that is where sustainable weight loss happens. When you work with your body and you do it for fun. Think about it as a fun thing. I am making my body feel good. I am doing this for myself now. I am doing this for my future self. I am doing this for my future generations. I am doing this to break whatever curse or things that I have spoken over my life. Just start to show up as the woman that you want to be, the woman that you want to look like, the woman that you want to feel. But that starts with working with your body. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this content, if you're looking for more realistic weight loss advice from real working women, this is the place for you. If you guys have any questions or certain topics that you guys would like me to talk about, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.